I will never touch Final Fantasy VII's hard mode ever again. I like difficult games, and this one is, but in the worst possible way. I don't find it fun when little normal enemies just keep smacking me over and over again, and bosses keep smacking me over and over and over again. I have no time to attack, and when I do, it's such little damage, it doesn't even feel worth it. Pressure system doesn't feel great most of the time because it's completely just, I have no idea how to pressure some enemies. I had to kind of just guess and hope that I was correct. Then there's boss phases, which I've never been a huge fan of, but this one just takes it to another level when it comes to damage caps and invulnerability between stages. Like, I just did 10,000 damage, but the boss's damage cap is 4,000 before he switches to his phase. So I just lost out on 6,000 damage I could have done to the boss because I have to watch this cutscene where he changes to his next phase. As you can tell, I don't like that. I think that's very annoying. Just let me kill the boss. Don't make him a damage sponge without giving him some sort of weakness, like with the specimen and the experiment. That was fun. I will say I had a lot of fun with Rufus once I figured him out. He's actually not that bad. But he's actually a pretty fun mechanic. By far the two worst bosses in the game for me was definitely the house and Reno and Rude. They were terrible. 100% just not fun at all. Rude and Reno by themselves were not fun. But they were even less fun when they were together. Now, I actually don't have any problem at all with MP or the item restriction. There's no problem there. I pretty much just use Magnify and an element, and then MP absorption and an element, and that just worked for normal fights. As long as there weren't a bunch of enemies. If there's a bunch of enemies, then it got real annoying real quick. Also, as long as I stocked up on revival earrings because I had a feeling this was going to be just torture. And as long as I had 2 revival earrings and raise on at least 2 of my party members, I was good on the death department. I can very much suggest Cloud's counter stance when it comes to physical attacking enemies because it is very strong. And his Blade Burst, I felt like Blade Burst was better than Infinity's End, I think it's called. Because it only cost 1 ATB bar, and I feel like it did the same damage as Infinity's End. But maybe that was just me. So speaking of douchey enemies, the Whispers at the end, those were just not fun. They were just constantly on you, and I think I spent 90% of that fight guarding with Barret. That's all I did, was guard with Barret, and when I got low, have someone else use Cure on me. I don't know if you have to do a certain amount of damage, or just wait a certain amount of time before the whole correction, I think it is, happens. Or what, but that was bad. When you're fighting just one of them and then 2 of them, that was fine. Whisper Bahamut, I think I took out pretty quickly because it was just the one guy. It wasn't 3 of them bombarding him. And Sephiroth was actually not that bad to me, I don't think. Once Aerith came in, after that, no real problems. I was able to keep my team alive. Unfortunately, I think it would have been a little more challenging if Heartless Angel would hit the whole area and not just a big spot around the middle. But, I don't know, that's just me. One of the most annoying mechanics for a boss was definitely the Valkyrie. That giant aerial laser was... I just couldn't figure out how to get it to go off. I would stand under it for a good 2 minutes near the boss. Nothing. as soon as the boss left my area quickly, boom, it went off. There's a couple times it just went off, and I had no clue how, because there's no one around it for it to go off. So besides that, that fight was not that bad. The whole spin attack, not the drill dive, but the spinny, I don't know what it's called. That one was just kind of annoying. It wasn't that bad if you kind of ran it around the thingy that was on the ground. One boss I thought was going to be kind of difficult and turned out to be probably one of the easiest. At least compared to what I thought it would be. Was the, I forget his name, it's like Rolly Pete or something like that. Oh, that boss was so easy. He even killed, I think he killed my Tifa. When it was Tifa and Aerith's turn to fight him. And my Aerith wrecked him. That's one thing I actually like about Aerith. At first, I used her Tempest. And I thought, this is trash. This is just terrible. Why would I ever use it? And then I started actually using it correctly. And it's honestly my favorite triangle ability out of all theirs. It just shreds through bosses. That's how I beat Dream Weaver so easy. I just, Aerith and her triangle was able to one-shot each tentacle. And two-shot her tentacles. It was just crazy. It's probably it definitely is my favorite triangle. Although my favorite limit is Barrett's Catastrophe. That thing is strong. I think it's probably stronger than Ascension, maybe? Dolphin Flurry, I didn't care for all that much, even though Tifa is my favorite character. To play as. I like the punches. And I thought she was going to be my super mega star in hard mode. But it turns out she's not that great. At least not in my hands in hard mode. But yeah, I don't know. It's just hard mode. I don't think I'm ever gonna touch it again. I had almost no fun with it. I had fun with the regular normal mode. It's a great game. I'd probably play through it at some point again, but not on hard mode. And I hope the second one they maybe fix the hard mode and change it up a bit. Don't make the bosses so spammy. I like that they had new moves. That was good. But unfortunately, new moves meant they were constantly casting and activating things. And take away phases. Or if you don't take away phases, at least don't make a damage cap. Make it so that if they go past a certain amount of health, they enter their next phase. But you don't cut off my damage. I don't like that. I want to do my damage. I want to kill the boss. That is my only goal. With this game, I kind of figured out pretty quickly by the first boss. Like the first real boss, not the Scorpion tank. That I feel like that's a tutorial boss. He wasn't that bad. But by the first real boss, I kind of had a feeling I was going to feel this way. Wait, I had a feeling I was going to feel this way. Yeah. I knew that I wasn't going to enjoy my playthrough of this. I will say, I still had that rush after defeating a boss. The whole, like, I finally did it. It took me forever, but I did it. But the whole time I was fighting the boss, there was no fun to be had. I'm gonna bring it up, Kingdom Hearts. Bosses are challenging, but they feel fair. It feels like a fair fight the whole time. I never once in Kingdom Hearts felt like, even though bosses in Kingdom Hearts kind of spam attacks too, but there's ways to counter that. It didn't feel like there's real ways to counter it here. With counters, since you can physical attacks. But I don't know. It just, comparing it to Kingdom Hearts because they're both action games. But I shouldn't. And they're both Square Enix games. So there's that. And there's Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts. It's not in the third one for some reason. Either way, I'm going to try to do 2 different scores. One for how difficult I think it is, and then how fun that difficult was. Like with this game, sure, it's difficult. I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 for difficulty. But for fun with the difficulty, it's like a 2. Just really no fun. You still get the whole, I did it. I beat the boss. Because it's hard. I beat him. But you also don't get the, well, did I really beat him? Didn't feel like it.